Isabel stood outside the towering glass building of Zenith Enterprises, its mirrored surface reflecting the bustling streets of Lagos. Her fingers clenched the handle of her purse as she stared up at the name emblazoned in silver. This was where it all began, where her brother David had vanished without a trace. She knew Michael Adewale, the stone-hearted CEO of Africa's largest corporation, had answers, and she was going to get them. David had been one of Zenith's most promising project managers, working directly under Michael. But 6 months ago, he disappeared. The police found nothing. The company went silent, and Isabel's life unraveled. She had quit her teaching job, thrown away stability, and crafted a plan that danced on the edge of recklessness. Seduce Michael, infiltrate his circle, and find out the truth. But first, she had to get the job. The reception area of Zenith Enterprises was a sprawling display of wealth. Marble floors gleaming under the chandeliers, art pieces that whispered of affluence, and walls of glass that offered a panoramic view of Lagos's skyline. Isabel swallowed hard as she approached the front desk, her heels clicking with a confidence she did not fully feel. The woman behind the desk barely glanced up. Name? Isabel Adisa. I have an interview, she replied, smoothing the crease in her skirt. After a moment of scanning through files, the receptionist nodded. 4th floor. Mr. Okoye will see you. Her pulse quickened as she entered the elevator. Each floor that blinked past felt like a step closer to either victory or doom. She imagined Michael's face, those sharp eyes, the way his jaw tightened when he spoke. He would be hers to unravel. She clenched her fists. For David, the interview was brutal. Mr. Okoye, Zenith's head of human resources, fired question after question with mechanical precision, his eyes flicking over her resume with practiced scrutiny. But Isabel held her ground, answering confidently, smiling even when his brow furrowed with skepticism. When it ended, he looked at her with a flicker of surprise, as if he hadn't expected her to survive the barrage. "You'll start Monday," he said flatly, offering his hand. Isabel took it, her grip firm, her smile razor-sharp. Step 1, complete. Isabel's first day at Zenith Enterprises was a gauntlet of sharp-eyed glances and whispered conversations. She navigated the maze of glass offices and modern decor with the poise of someone who belonged, even though every step was a reminder of her true mission. But as much as she tried to focus on the task at hand, her mind kept wandering back to him, Michael Adewale. His sharp jawline, the way his suit clung perfectly to his tall, muscular frame, the way his voice sent shivers down her spine even when he was issuing curt orders. She hated it, hated how easily distracted she became. This was the man she was supposed to destroy, not fantasize about. Isabel cursed herself every time her gaze lingered too long on his broad shoulders, or when she caught herself imagining what he looked like beneath that tailored suit. She was supposed to be finding cracks in his armor, not obsessing over the way his eyes darkened when he was deep in thought. Days turned into weeks, and Isabel's persistence began to bear fruit. Michael, true to form, was distant and curt. He rarely looked her way, except to issue orders with the efficiency of a general. But Isabel was patient. She had studied predators long enough to understand. Sometimes you had to let them come to you. But the more she tried to hate him, the more she found herself staring. During late-night meetings, when his sleeves were rolled up, exposing muscular forearms and a silver watch that gleamed under the light, She found her thoughts slipping. She would shake herself back to reality, scolding her heart for its betrayal. This was her brother's boss. He might be the one responsible, or maybe he knew who was. She couldn't afford weakness, and yet, when their hands brushed, electricity sizzled through her veins. When he leaned over her desk, his scent, clean, sharp, intoxicating, lingered long after he was gone. Isabel found herself dressing a little sharper, wearing her lipstick a little bolder, if only to watch his eyes flicker to her mouth for just a second longer than necessary. The first time she truly tested him was during an executive dinner. She wore a crimson dress that hugged her curves perfectly, her hair pinned up with just enough tendrils loose to be distracting. When she entered the room, Michael's gaze snapped to her, his eyes darkening with something she hadn't seen before: desire. All evening, she played the perfect assistant, handing him documents, brushing her fingers against his as she poured his drink, leaning just a little too close when she whispered updates. She saw him stiffen, his jaw clenching, his eyes dropping to the curve of her neck before snapping back up. The tension between them crackled, unspoken and undeniable. He was so controlled, so tightly wound, that every crack she saw felt like a victory. That night, as she exited the building, her phone buzzed. An unknown number flashed on the screen, and she answered cautiously. A faint, broken voice crackled through the speaker, distant and tormented. "Isabel, help me." Her blood turned to ice, her breath caught in her throat. It was David. "David?" she whispered, voice trembling. "David, is that you? Where are you?" But the line went dead, leaving her clutching the phone, heart hammering and mind spiraling. Was she going crazy, or had she just heard her brother's voice from beyond the void? Someone had him, and they wanted Summer to know. The city lights flickered ominously in the distance, casting jagged shadows across her path. Her heart thundered in her chest as she glanced around, paranoia creeping in. Had she been watched this whole time? She took a shaky breath, realizing that the game had just begun, and the stakes were far higher than she ever imagined. If you want to discover the secrets buried within Zenith Enterprises and uncover the chilling truth about David's disappearance, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Chapter 2 is coming, and nothing will prepare you for what's next.